Mocha.
Bye-bye.
So, our last player,
not least.
but not least, Rakim Jarrett, Maryland wide receiver, 5'11" and 3/4 inches, 192 pounds, 9 3/8 inch hands, 4.44 in the 40, 1.51 10-yard split, 123-inch broad jump, 35.5-inch vertical, 13 bench press reps. Last year at Maryland in 11 games, he had 40 receptions, 471 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 rush attempts, 15 yards, and no additional touchdowns, and a huge conspiracy. Give it to us, Garrett.
So here's the thing.
All right.
He's an alien.
With Rakim Jarrett, first and foremost, let me get this part out of the way before the conspiracy part. It's its own mini conspiracy, honestly.
Wait, it's his conspiracy?
No, this is my conspiracy about him.
Okay. It's a mini conspiracy?
This is a mini conspiracy
that
before we get to the major
rolls
conspiracy.
into the bigger one.
First of all of the tape on Jarrett, whether it's in our film room or on YouTube, literally like none of the games where he scored a touchdown are out there. It's like everyone intentionally put out his worst games.
3 touchdowns.
So
interesting.
This year, but I'm talking even the freshman seasons, the sophomore seasons, unless you watch a highlight.
It's not like Neo dodging all those bullets. It's only 3 touchdowns, dude.
This year, it was 5. It was 5 last year. It was 5 last year. But let's get to the main conspiracy.
A game out there with him catching footballs.
Go ahead.
There was
conspiracy.
Once upon a time.
Yes.
There was another receiver that went to Maryland.
Oh, boy.
His name was Stephon Diggs.
He was a 5-star recruit.
Yeah.
He was a 5-star recruit. Guess how many stars Rakim Jarrett was?
Judging based off his performances, or
No.
just
Just
history,
guess. Just take a guess.
history lesson.
Well,
take a guess.
If there's going to be a conspiracy, I'm assuming it's 5.
6.
Bingo!
6.
He was a 6-star. Only ever 6-star recruit. No, he was a 5-star recruit. Originally committed to
George
LSU.
Santos write this?
He originally committed to LSU, and then he transferred.
I could have fallen
or
in
didn't
love
transfer, but
if he would have gone there.
decommitted.
Yeah.
And went to
His idol school.
he went to Maryland. Both guys hail from the state of Maryland. So during his time there,
which 2 guys?
both Jarrett and Diggs.
Oh, Stephon, we're still paralleling Diggs and him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
They both are from Maryland. Both of them underwhelmed during their time at Maryland. Both of them, their best season was 800 yards.
Okay.
Both players. Guess how tall both of them were at the combine?
Okay.
6 foot.
Exactly 6 foot.
Well,
Rakim Jarrett.
5'11" and 3/4. But go ahead.
It says on the official NFL.com website.
They round.
6 foot. Did they? I don't know.
They round.
Either way.
Is this conspiracy or comp?
Shh.
I mean, both going to see.
Let it happen. Let it happen.
Okay.
All right.
One weighed 195 pounds.
The other?
One weighed 192 pounds.
Okay.
Wow, that's 3 pounds difference.
One
Three-
of them can catch.
One of them. Would you let me finish?
The other. Go ahead. Sorry.
This is my conspiracy time. Let this happen.
You're right. I'm sorry.
This happened.
I didn't mean to cut you
One
off.
ran a 4.46 in Stephon Diggs.
Yes.
The other ran a 4.44.
Mm-hmm. Very similar.
Very similar. They were also within 0.02 of a second on the 10-yard split. Jarrett was also slightly faster in that, and only a 1/2 inch difference in their vertical jump. So we're talking about almost identical players.
Is this a multiverse conspiracy?
That's what I'm wondering.
Or is this a time travel conspiracy?
I thought we just get a 23andMe test.
Okay.
I think it might be a cloning conspiracy.
Oh.
Because on top of that, guess was the offensive coordinator during Stephon Diggs' time?
Whoever came.
Mike Loxley. Mike Loxley was the offensive coordinator from 2012 to 2015, the time.
Wait, Loxley?
Yeah.
Like Robin Hood? Robin of Loxley? Like that guy?
Lock
Next week, I'm
SLEY.
going to get out that letter. Does the thing between John F. Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln, where like the letters in their name, their secretaries, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, wow,
That's
things are
some
getting real
serious-
crazy
yeah,
around here.
Serious stuff.
He left to go to Alabama for a little bit, and then he came back, and he is now the head coach of Maryland. And so they even dealt with the same guy that tended to not get them their best opportunity. I think that even though watching his tape, I was underwhelmed.
Oh my!
I did
for
not.
the love of God!
I did not love his tape,
I sat through all that. You don't even like the guy.
but
guy-
let me finish.
Listen, I'm telling you, he's Stephon Diggs' clone. His tape did not impress me.
But what I did see,
I like Diggs' tape, but it's not.
but I did see traits. I did see traits in his game. He was a very good athlete out
Oh,
there.
yeah, sure.
We saw him break lots of tackles. You would see him, and I went back and watched.
Physical with the ball in his hands, for sure.
Very physical with the ball in his hands. There was times he would go up and get the ball. He would make some guys miss. Like, there was a lot of good things. I went back and watched his sophomore season, and even a little bit of his freshman season. I watched all 3 seasons, kind of like I did of Butte. He did not, and so this is my question as to what to do with him, because I think there were some similarities in Stephon Diggs with this as well. He didn't improve at all during his time. He looked just every bit as good his freshman and sophomore seasons as he did his junior year. And there was no reason that he shouldn't have been significantly better as a junior than he was earlier on if he was developing. So I don't know if they struggle to get these high recruits what they need. I don't know if they don't know how to groom them, coach that. Like, I don't know what's going on there. But
Maryland's not very good at football.
Right. And even
DJ
DeMoss that we saw last week, same type of thing where, and his was more due to injuries, but we've seen this out of some of these schools where if they would play somewhere else, it might have been a very different story.
No, I feel like they're kind of the Auburn of the Big Ten.
Of the Big Ten, I can see that.
Yeah, they get good athletes. They just don't develop them.
They never develop them.
Good football players.
And it kind of reminded me of what we saw out of Donovan Peoples-Jones, where you look at his tape, he was this good 5-star player that had all of this excitement coming in, and you see flashes of it, but you don't see it consistently. And so that's the thing that I'm hanging my hat on. His score is not very good because it is solely based on the tape. But I will be ranking him and drafting him drastically ahead of what his tape score is. But I have to stay true to the tape for the tape score part.
Real good speed.
Thank you.
Good size.
I
thought he tracked the ball well. My favorite attribute is with him with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
I thought he played really hard. It makes more sense now, like the way you guys describe it, like the Auburn, the Big Ten, and like they don't develop because that thought process never even crossed my mind once. I don't think like that. Because I was like, he seems like real raw, not real raw. I was like, seems a little raw to me. His drops are a little concerning to me.
8 drops last year, 64 targets, 8 drops, 40. Was it 40 receptions? Yeah.
Yeah, 8 drops. That's a concern. 16 over the last 3 years. Wasn't really good at all in the contested catch situation. I thought his routes were not great, but again, I kind of go back to the rawness of him. I like his speed. I like the way he plays. I like getting the ball in his hands. So I came away with like, okay, like there's something there. Like if he can get coached up, there's something there. Like I don't. He's like probably like in the 4th round for me of this rookie class. Like there's something there that I don't hate. But again, the hands aren't that great. He over the 2 years before that, he had 8 drops total combined in those 2 years. So it wasn't as bad, but still, like you expect people to get better, not worse in situations like that.
And part of the other reason I think they really struggled, I was looking up stuff about their offensive line. Their sack rate was one of the worst in the country. Like
it's to his younger brother throwing in the ball.
Correct. So those big plays downfield and those kind of opportunities just weren't there very often.
What is his brother's name?
I always get it wrong.
I know his last name's Tagovailoa.
Yeah, me too. And I was the
it's like
quiz hot shots.
Tulia. I think it's like Tulia or something like that.
Mr. Tagovailoa, quarterback, Maryland. So I mean, he's on my board. Like I get, my last thing I wrote was like seems a little raw to me, but there's enough there where like I can draft him.
Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of body catches. He's a good athlete. I don't know that he's just not refined at all as a wide receiver. I don't know if that's even his position. Do you know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. Like, is he a running back that's trying to play wide receiver? I just don't know. Cause like he's really good with the ball in his hands and he's tough and physical. I think he could do some things like leaking out of the backfield, or even just getting him the ball in like jet sweeps and stuff like that. Screens, stuff close to the line of scrimmage. But I don't know how that translates to the NFL. If he fully develops into a wide receiver, sure, he could be something.
He needs time.
That's a long bow to kind of.
You're literally talking
together,
2025 to know what you have in this player.
Right. So
it's a long wait. That's why I'm saying 4th, 5th, 6th round. Like probably even not 4th is probably too high. To be
I would draft him in the 4th. I think the upside that he has compared to there might be some players that are like safer, but their ceiling is like maybe one day they'll be a wide receiver 4.
Yeah,
like
we mentioned before, like a guy like Puka compared to like Rakim. Like this is like 4th round. Like he fits that mold of what you're saying. Like I'd rather take a guy that's raw, that doesn't know what he's doing, but has the ability to, like, if he somehow figures it out, I have something. I'd rather have that.
And he has the pedigree too. I always like guys that.
Well, if he's Stephon Diggs' clone, of course he's got pedigree.
Exactly.
He's got the pedigree and the DNA.
I mean, look, they're basically the same guy.
They're obviously, clearly.
Worst conspiracy theory ever.
Clearly, there was time travel.
Did you hear all those parallels?
I was waiting.
There was like 8 different
I was
parallels.
waiting hours for that too. Like he does. Like I'm not gonna ask him what it is. I'm gonna sit here and wait for it.
What took him 8 hours to describe? They'll flash up on the board in 1 second during the draft. And it's just gonna be all the measurables. They're gonna be right next to each other, and they're gonna be.
I think what you missed too is like I think he changed his number to wear Diggs' number because he grew up idolizing.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Diggs as well. So like it goes even deeper.
That's right.
How deep does this well of conspiracy go?
It will now take 5 seconds to explain on draft weekend.
I can't wait to dive into these other receivers to talk about some craziness going on as well.
Draft Stephon Diggs 2.0.